Okay, let's see how fast I can find the function of this graph that we see in front of us. First thing we do is find the period. Here we go. So I see this is 1, so it looks like the top part here is happening, looks like 0.5. Okay, great. And looks like the other 1 full period's over here. Look, that's at 4.5, right? That looks right. Fantastic. Great. So then from here to here, looks like the period is 4. So I got a period of 4. Great. So what does that mean about concern b or omega? Well, 2 pi over the period gives me that value. So quickly, b is going to be 2 pi over 4 or pi half. Great. I got my b. I look at my amplitude, and it's pretty clear that amplitude here is 1, so I'm going to go skip that right now just to make this go much faster. Fantastic. Now we come to the phase shift or the horizontal shift, the tricky part. So what I ask myself, do I want to use the cosine or do I want to use the sine? It won't really matter, I just need to make a decision. So let's say I go with the cosine function. So I look at the cosine function, I know that it starts at the top, always at the top, at the maximum level as a normal for the cosine function. So the cosine function normally stops right there. And of course, it's not at 0.5, it is at 0. That's where it starts. So now I realize I'm that much off. Fantastic. So let me put everything here in position. I'm going to use the cosine function. I made that commitment. Cosine, amplitude is 1. That b, I just came up with this pi over 2. Fantastic. Times my x. And I need to think about adding or subtracting something to create the shift. In this case, I'm going to looks like I'm going to do a horizontal shift. Okay, so my focus here is at 0.5. So you notice I'm going to get back to the 0. If I enter here 1/2, you'll notice if I enter a half into x, half minus a half is 0, so subtracting was the correct thing to do. I need to subtract to move to the right, and that's it. I'm done. That's the function. So wait a minute, what just happened here? So here's what I did. I focused on what I want. I want that position at the top because that's where the cosine normally starts. Then I figure out how far is that away from where it should be, which is right there. And the answer is 0.5, and that is my horizontal shift. And so now I just need to put that in that position, the horizontal shift. Notice if I were to distribute cosine pi over 2x, and here I'm going to continue, it's going to be pi over 4. That's my y. Hey, wait a minute. Let's see. That means I moved 1/4. My phase shift is pi over 4. And of course, from the graph, it's really impossible to look at pi over 4, be able to determine that. But that's why I used the horizontal shift, because I could see much clearer what that shift was as a horizontal shift, but I really can't see it as a phase shift.